Give us your name and professional title.
Hi, I'm Eddie Stewart. I'm CEO of Stewart Transportation Solutions, and we're headquartered here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Tell us a bit about your business and the services you offer.
Sure. So our company manages ground transportation for conventions and events. Naturally, right now in this pandemic, we're a little bit in a pause state. But where you would find us would be in large convention cities like Las Vegas, Orlando, Atlanta, Chicago, places where big corporations, and we have a very robust list of clients that are in the technology and insurance and hardware business. And when they go to one of those cities, they host a convention or a live event of some sort. And oftentimes they need transportation services. And so the interesting thing is we don't own any vehicles, but what we do is procure the vehicles in each of those markets. And we'd have a team of people that go in and deploy, and then they actually coordinate, manage, and pull off a convention. And so again, so our job is to move people safely and efficiently at live events.
There's a quote on your website that says, "The shift to a service mentality is a far more abundant attitude." Talk about why adopting an attitude of service will be beneficial to Gen Zs.
Sure. So I have to tell you that quote, it actually comes from an author by the name of Marianne Williamson, who wrote a book called Return to Love, and might also recognize the name from someone who threw her name in the hat for presidential candidate and was on stage debating just a few months ago. But be that as it may, the premise of the book is about listening, it's about having empathy for people, and it's about service. And so our team has been highly trained, and of course we share this book. We've shared this book with a lot of our team, and it gets moved around and people read it, and we've read it, of course, several times. But the best example I guess I can give you is that when we get a phone call from a client, our team is instructed to first listen to what this person has to say, and then you want to empathize with them because you know that this is a stressful event, because a lot of people don't have the skills that we have in the logistics field. So we want them to listen, we want them to be empathetic, and then we want to offer service and a solution. So rather than selling the customer, our job is more about trying to listen and be empathetic and try and create a solution for them, because selling to someone, even though they want to be sold to, is a little off-putting. And so the idea is to have more of a service and solution mentality. So I would say for a Gen Z, if you can kind of take that approach, rather than being concerned about how much money you're going to make or how much commission you're going to make or what's this going to do to my career, but think about serving others before you're really starting to think about yourself.
That's really nice. So what made you start Stewart Transportation Solutions?
Well, it's a long story that I'll try and shorten a little bit, but I was in the hospitality industry when I got out of college. I worked for state tourism offices, I worked for convention and visitors bureaus, and then I got an opportunity to work for a meeting planner. And the meeting planner had a large association called the American Bus Association, interestingly enough. And so that was the first event that I worked on, and I was tasked with working on the transportation aspect of the convention. So what I discovered was that, having been on the meeting planning side and then having been on the bus business side, that there was a gap that existed between the two businesses. So what we do is kind of help the bus operator have a better experience up front to the meeting planner, and then make the meeting planner understand that the bus operator has its limitations, but we're going to help kind of bridge that and make that a better experience.
Great. And you spoke to it, saying how you take an approach of empathy and that you're service-oriented, but what else would you say are the key characteristics of your success?
There's a word that I think I use quite often, and it's integrity. And I like that word because it embodies several other words inside the definition. Honesty, strong moral principles are part of that word. And so I think we've worked really hard with our team to try and get them to believe that if you be honest with your client, and I say this often, is don't surprise me. Don't surprise me with something. I want to know if it's bad. It's the same thing we do with our clients. If we have an event and they close a street down and it's going to make those attendees late for a meeting, I'm on the phone with my client immediately telling them that there is a possibility that these people will be late to the meeting. But don't let them come into the meeting complaining to the meeting planner about the fact that they were late. But they already have a heads up. They already know that that's happened, and they can be empathetic to them. So it's real important to me that we make sure that our team is fully engaged and that they understand how important integrity is to me as a leader and to them as leaders as well.
Sounds like communication is really integral to the success.
Very much so. And we're a service industry. We're a service business, and communication is highly important in what we do.
How important has it been for you to have mentors, and what did you do to find them?
Well, I did not start out seeking a mentor. I'm a pretty self-assured individual. Came from a single-parent household whose mother did all the things that you would expect a good mom to do to make sure that she put her son on the right path, and was, I was with uncles and Boy Scouts and coaches and the things that you would expect to do. But I really, even through the early years of my business, I wasn't seeking a mentor or thinking about that very much. It really happened for me more on the basis of you don't know it's a mentor until after it's a mentor. But there was a client that I had that I got to go. He had an association called the National Tour Association. It was his. He managed this event, this convention, and so I was fortunate enough to be on the team and went to meetings every day. And he talked about quality, and he talked about how we can be better and how we can impress our clients. And I sat in those meetings and I listened to it and I believed it and took it back to my organization. But it wasn't until after he retired and that client kind of went away that I realized he was a mentor. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that always you're finding somebody at that moment. Sometimes it happens as you go through the course of business.
Now, your mission is inspiring leaders to deliver happy experiences from start to finish. You spoke a little bit to this with your suggested reading materials and whatnot, but how else do you accomplish that in your team?
Well, I kind of break it down for you into three ways. Inspiring leaders, first of all, in that we are a company that wants everybody in our side of our organization to be a leader. We're building careers. And I tell our employees all the time that, we want you to stay here forever. We want this to be your career. But if you go on somewhere else, I'm going to feel good about the fact that I've helped to develop your career and put you into a leadership position, because I'm helping you as an individual go on through life and be a better human being. The second part is about experiences, and a meeting planner is all about the experience. It's all about the party. It's all about the event and how, if it comes off great, the speakers have to motivate you, all the things that go into a convention event. Transportation, food and beverage, the logistics parts that go into that also are very, very important to the overall event. So the experience is very important. And then the last part of that mission statement is from beginning to end. And when you think about what we do, when you think about the transportation experience, we're oftentimes the very first experience that you have, which you step off the airplane, you get into a bus with one of our team members greets you and says, well, welcome to Las Vegas. We put you on a bus, you go to your hotel, and then the last experience you perhaps have is when we pick you up at the hotel and take you back to your airplane. So that kind of explains and breaks down the statement from how we created it and what it means to us.
So how can people get in contact with you if they have questions regarding the work you do and the services you offer?
Well, there's several ways. You're welcome to email me. It's Eddie, E-D-D-I-E, at Stewart, S-T-E-W-A-R-T, Transportation. So email me. We have, the Facebooks and the all Instagram and LinkedIn certainly is a good place. I'm on LinkedIn, but you're able to reach us certainly through our webpage, and there's lots of good information up there as well.
Thank you. And you've spoken so passionately about what you do, and it seems you really do stand behind this company as being more than a company, but your life's work, which is really wonderful. So do you have any final words or thoughts to add?
Well, I don't know that I really have any final words to add, but I would just say that, it's been 30 rewarding years of being an entrepreneur, and there's nothing like being your own boss. And I love being my own boss. I love having employees. It is stressful. It is from time to time overwhelming, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
30 years ago, Stewart Transportation Solutions started as a one-man operation, and now they're providing transportation solutions for meetings and events all across the country. So keep going after your dreams and goals, and you'll achieve them in time.